Everyone wants to track their full carbon footprint, but it's hard. You can see your own power use, but what about the hidden emissions? The emissions from building the servers or the data center themselves? It's a complete black box. This makes tying sustainability to your cloud bill almost impossible. But this isn't your fault. You can't track what you can see. Until now, cloud providers simply didn't give you this data. You were missing the biggest part of the picture. Well, AWS just changed the game. Their carbon footprint tool now includes these hidden Scope 3 emissions. So, how can you use this new data to finally link sustainability to your cloud cost? We'll show you how in this video. Welcome one week more to the Cloud Provider FinOps updates. I am Victor Garcia from FinOps Weekly, and after our wonderful summit, we are going to bring you the updates from the cloud providers regarding to FinOps. Okay, so starting with the news, AWS now lets you modify CPU options on Windows Server and SQL Server license included to lower vCPU-based license cost. Specifically, Amazon EC2 customers can customize the number of vCPUs and disable hyperthreading on Windows Server and SQL Server license included instances. This change means that you can reduce the vCPU count that Microsoft builds against while keeping the instance memory and IOPS unchanged. For example, an R7i 8X large running Windows and SQL Server normally exposes 32 vCPUs. By turning off hyperthreading, you can drop that to 16 vCPUs while retaining the shared GB memory and the IOPS, effectively cutting the licensing cost in half. So the direct benefit of this is that you can have immediate Microsoft licensing cost savings without sacrificing the memory or storage performance your workloads require. Continuing on with more updates from Amazon EC2 Capacity Manager is generally available to monitor on-demand, spot, and capacity reservations across accounts and regions. This new capability gives you a single interface with dashboards and charts that show you current capacity, historical usage trends, and optimization opportunities across on-demand, spot, and capacity reservation footprints. Additionally, EC2 Manager offers drill-down APIs, exportable data, and workflows to act on optimizations, so you can go from insight to execution. Because it's enabled by default at no additional cost in all commercial AWS regions, the practical benefit is faster, consolidated visibility for capacity planning, and FinOps-driven decision without needing extra tooling or spend. Moving on to the next one, AWS Marketplace now supports purchase order lines numbers so you can map charges to specific PO lines. You can now attach a purchase order line to Marketplace transactions during procurement or post-procurement for future changes, and see the PO and PO line number on invoices in the AWS Billing and Console Management console. This capability is supported in all AWS regions where AWS Marketplace is available. In a new update from the Kudos dashboards, Media Services Insights Hub v1.1 improves the cure query performance for very large accounts and corrects the AMX ingress bytes KPI filter. This release specifically speeds up the main cost and usage report query when working with very large account usage datasets, so dashboards that previously ran slowly should respond faster. For FinOps teams, the benefit is quicker access to cost and usage reports at scale and more accurate KPI filter for data in metrics, which helps reduce the analysis time and surface correct savings opportunities sooner. In a new update of CloudWatch, CloudWatch Database Insights now supports tag-based access control for RDS and Aurora metrics powered by Performance Insights. Previously, instance tags didn't affect access to Performance Insights metrics, forcing manual, resource-by-resource premium setup. Now, instance tags are evaluated automatically for authorizing database per query, so you can write IAM policies using tag-based conditions. As a result, you can implement access controls across logical groupings, team, project environment, without managing permissions per database. In practice, this reduces operational overhead and provides governance consistency, beneficial for FinOps that rely on secure, role-based visibility into database performance and cost drivers. And in a new update from CloudWatch as well, CloudWatch Synthetics added multi-check blueprints so one canary can run up to 10 checks defined in a JSON configuration. Multi-check blueprints cover common monitoring tasks, HTTP endpoints with various authentication methods, DNS validation, SSL certificate monitoring, and TCP port checks, and integrate with AWS Secret Manager for credentials. Each step returns detailed assertion on status codes, latency, headers, and body content. Because you can bundle multiple checks into one canary and get step-by-step results in existing synthetics console, you can avoid writing separate custom scripts and reduce the number of canaries you can run. That translates to lower monitoring cost and faster setup time for end-to-end health checks, which help FinOps balance observability needs against monitoring spend. So now the long-awaited news: AWS Customer Carbon Footprint tool now includes Scope 3 emission. AWS has expanded the Customer Carbon Footprint tool to include the Scope 3 categories and updated Scope 1 calculation. The new methodology in version 3.0.0 has 3 Scope 3 areas: fuel and energy-related activities, upstream fuels and electricity, including transmission and distribution losses, IT hardware, cradle-to-gate LCA for devices and transport, and buildings and equipment, whole building lifecycle assessment. Importantly, AWS amortizes those embodied emissions over asset service life, 6 years for IT hardware and 50 years for buildings, so monthly customers' allocations reflect fair lifetime distribution. AWS also recalculated historical data back to January 2022 and had the methodology independently verified. You can access the expanded emissions in the billing console under the Customer Carbon Footprint tool, export CSVs, and choose market-based method, MBM, or location-based method, LBM calculations. The direct benefit for FinOps is that more complete, auditable emissions visibility, to tie sustainability metrics to cost and operational decisions, to include the long-awaited Scope 3 metrics from AWS. Now, moving on to Azure. Azure Discovery is generally available and includes Copilot integration to query your storage state in natural language. Azure Discovery is a fully managed service that aggregates insights across Azure Blob Storage and Azure Data Lake Storage for subscriptions and regions you select. And the first insights appear in less than 24 hours, often within a few hours. Moreover, Copilot in Azure lets you ask plain English questions and get rich visualizations and out-of-the-box reports for capacity, activity, security, configurations, and errors. The service offers a free plan with 15 days of history and a standard plan retaining insights up to 18 months. Because it surfaces accounts with low transaction counts, hot tier usage, shared key use, redundancy settings, and other actionable items, the main benefit is fast, actionable visibility to optimize storage cost and compliance across large multi-subscription estates. Now moving on to Google Cloud, use Gemini CLI, GKE Inference Quickstart to pick cost-effective LLM setups. So now you can use GKE's Inference Quickstart that integrates with Gemini CLI via MCP to generate manifest and give data-driven cost performance recommendations for LLM inference on GKE. Once everything is installed, you can ask the CLI for recommendations such as the cheapest models, performance comparison across accelerators, or to generate a deployable manifest. Also, Inference Quickstart provides benchmarks and a cost per token calculation. So you can now compare choices on a consistent data-driven basis and change input-output cost ratio as needed. Because minimizing latency can sharply raise costs due to reduced batching efficiency, this tooling helps teams make informed trade-offs and deploy LLMs faster with clearer FinOps posture around accelerator spend and throughput. So before we continue now, please like and subscribe to get more updates the following week. That has been all for this week's edition. I hope you enjoyed the FinOps Weekly Summit that we just had, and see you next week. Bye bye.